LaMelo Ball was drafted by Mitch Kupchak, and that decision seemed to turn out wonderful. LaMelo became the Rookie of the Year, and then a year later became an All-Star. And from the outside looking in, he seems to be a very valuable piece to this organization. But that's the outside looking in. How do they see him on the inside? It may not be exactly what you think. So let's watch what Mitch Kupchak had to say when asked about consulting LaMelo for a coaching job, because we definitely got to talk about this on Ball Facts.
Hey, Mitch. Curious if, since it is such a players' league, if the players will be consulted, especially LaMelo, in attempts to try to keep him here about the new head coach going forward in the process.
I've not consulted anybody. If we ever get to the point where, we have some of the top 10 players in the league, and they're in this league for 5, 10, 12 years, then maybe I'd have a discussion. But we're a young team, and no, I did not reach out to anybody, and nobody's called me.
Walker.
You see, there was a long pause after he said that, right? Even the people that are asking the questions are like, what? So the guy starts off asking the questions and he says, in terms of trying to keep LaMelo Ball, what does that mean? That means everybody that is watching the Hornets knows, like, okay, you drafted LaMelo Ball. It's not every day that a GM will draft a Rookie of the Year and then the next year he's an all-star. That doesn't happen every day. So when the guy says, in terms of trying to keep LaMelo Ball, everybody in the room is on the same page. Like, yeah, we're trying to keep him. And then Mitch blinks, look, and he says, I haven't talked to anybody. You threw him into the anybody conversation. He's not just anybody on your team. This is why these small market teams sometimes cannot be successful. You have to be able to recognize talent. Now, Charlotte Hornets have definitely not always recognized talent in the draft. Mitch Kupchak has recognized talent at different times. And sometimes you're just looking at college games and you're looking at overseas games and you're trying to figure out, is this guy good or not? We're not talking about that. We're talking about 2 years in the league and you see the proof. At one point, he was leading your team in points, assists, and rebounds at the same time. How can you just say, oh, yeah, I haven't talked to anybody? And then he goes on to get more requirements. Like, if he was a top 10 guy, to me, that's belittling. If I'm sitting at home and I'm watching this and you just say, like, oh, I haven't talked to anyone. I asked you simply about LaMelo Ball. That's the subject. I asked you, and then you just lump them into that. Next, you start giving requirements like, oh, if he was a top 10 player in the league. Not everybody that comes in their second year is a top 10 player in the league, but you can see the trajectory. He's already an all-star. Who else on your team was an all-star? How can you just lump him in? So how do you expect LaMelo to feel? We're not LaMelo. We don't know how he feels. He knows how he feels. If he states it, he states it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But guess what? In the Slam magazine, he stated how he felt. And he wanted the keys to the organization. Had to say this before. What are the keys? Luka has the keys in Dallas. Who else? Trae Young has the keys on the Hawks. Do you think if they were getting a coaching change, they would talk to Trae Young? I think so. You think they would talk to Luka? I think so. They say he's the one of the future for this franchise. But it seems like maybe they don't think that. He's like, if they've been in the league maybe 5 years, like another requirement. So first, if you're a top 10 player, and then next, if you've been in the league for at least 5 years, is like everything he's saying is to say LaMelo Ball does not meet this standard. That is what he is saying. I'm not putting words in his mouth. He was asked about LaMelo Ball, and he just said, I didn't talk to anyone. He took the question broad, and then he started saying requirements of this bar that LaMelo hasn't reached. And if you want to keep good players, you got to treat them right. It makes me wonder, are you guys going to offer Miles Bridges the right thing? I hope so. He's the one that really fits with LaMelo Ball. I like their squad. A lot of their pieces are good, but I think some are expendable. And I think they'll do well in other places. You got to try to fit around the right people. It's not just about amassing talent. You have to see what fits. Obviously, you know right now, if you have a player like LaMelo Ball that can lead you in all categories at any given time, you say, okay, this is a special talent. No one on the team can do what he can do, and he's doing it early. Look at everybody else on your team and look what they did in their first and second year. And that gives you an idea of the trajectory that LaMelo Ball is on. Now you say, how can we enhance this? How can we make this better? When you build around a player, you don't just, give him the jersey number he wants. That's going to help, though. You put the players around. And now you have an opportunity to even pick the right coach. So you've got LaMelo for 2 years. You've seen what he's done. And now you get a whole new chance to pick the right coach that can coach him. But you don't ask him what he would like. You don't include him on anything. And you just think that you guys on the front office are know it all. Even if you know it all, right? And he doesn't know what he needs, just to make him feel good, you could still talk to him about the coach. You don't even have to mean it. You could just, let's say you're in the back talking with MJ and the guys, and you're gonna, we'll pick who we want. These guys don't know, but we want to make them feel special. We want to make them feel wanted. So to me, I'm like, you don't even extend that hand. It's like, do you not value him the way he should be valued? And if you're LaMelo Ball and you hear that and you see that, so it's not only that it's happening, now you've admitted it in the public that you don't see him as that guy. How do you feel when your father has told you from birth, the coach has to believe in you? There's a saying that you're only as good as your coach believes you are. That's not always true, but that's a lot true. So LeVar's telling his sons, like, if you got that coach that believes in you, okay, now if the GM appears that he might not believe who I believe I am and is going to pick a coach according to him and not me, is the coach going to believe who I am? Are we going to have a repeat? They got rid of James Borrego for a reason. You got to the play-in twice and you couldn't make the hump over. And it's a lot to do with that. They shouldn't even be in that position, honestly. I know the East is getting better and all that, but you got LaMelo Ball and you got the opportunity to build around him. I think there are valuable pieces that you can get rid of and get somebody that you need. Of course, the contracts are a little wacky and people are getting paid a lot of money, but now at least you can consult him on the coach. Let's say you can't move the contracts around. You can't get a free agent that you want. But that's the thing. I think they'll be able to get more people than they think. When you have LaMelo and Miles Bridges and you tell some of these free agents, some of these centers that LaMelo said he wanted a good big man, you tell some of these people, like, we're building around these two guys. Do you want to come join something special? I think you can get some free agents. So if you can draw free agents based on LaMelo Ball, why wouldn't you talk to the coach? Talk to LaMelo Ball about the coach. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't sound right. And it sounds like they don't value him enough. And that is a very dangerous game. We got to see how it plays out. But we're watching it right in front of us. LaMelo does an interview and says he wants the keys put in his hands. And then Mitch Kupchak does an interview and says, I haven't talked to any player. And if you were here for 5 years, if you're a top 10 player. And now we see why LaMelo says, I want the keys. And people kept saying to that video that I got, when LaMelo said he want the keys, like, what do you mean the keys? He's got the keys. He's got the keys. He's not even consulted on the coach, even just for the look of it. Cosmetics. He's not even asked, what kind of coach would you like? What things would you like run? You got anything? Just for the face value. They're not even doing that. So, in the off season, you just work hard and you get your game right and get your number one. But in the back of your head, are you feeling like, this is a question. We don't know. We're going to have to find out. He may do another interview. He may not. But are you feeling like, man, I asked for the keys and now you out here saying like, I'm just anybody. You know what I mean? I'm not just anybody. But anyway, very dangerous game that Mitch Kupchak is playing with LaMelo Ball. Very dangerous. You guys have not got that star player. Now you have one. He's selling all the shoes. So you got Kyrie selling shoes. You got KD selling shoes. Now you got this young 20-year-old LaMelo Ball selling crazy shoes in the NBA, crazy jerseys. And that's with the number 2. Wait till he gets to that number 1. He's voted crazy in the All-Star. He's getting the stats to match. What more do you need? What more do you want to see? Because if you can't see the trajectory that he is on, I have to question, like, man, is there something else? You know, do y'all really think he's not that good? Or do you think he's not that good for your organization? Do you not like him for another reason? Because everybody else is on it. Hulu is on it. AT&T is on it. You know what I mean? Puma's on it. Everybody sees what this kid is doing and they're getting in on it and they're flourishing because of it. Now, the NBA team that he's on, that he's seen the most with, rather than any other advertising company, the Charlotte Hornets, they see him in your jerseys, in your arenas. Are you going to capitalize on him? Or are you going to lose him? Start valuing your star players. Start valuing the players that bring value to you. And that's what I'm going to say about this. You guys let me know in the comment section if LaMelo is being undervalued and you think it's dangerous, or you think Mitch didn't need to talk to him about the coach at all.
We've interviewed probably close to 8 to 10 candidates. I'm lucky to be in this position and to continue to do it. So for better or worse, I'll be here for the next couple of years.
Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Ball facts again. Peace.